Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Around the League. Today we are taking another look at college sports conferences. This one is probably one you've heard of. It is probably the most famous of all of the non-football conferences in all of Division I sports. This is the Big East. Now, this conference kind of constitutes this big strip of land, basically from Nebraska straight east all the way to the coast in Rhode Island. There are 11 schools in 11 different states slash not quite states. We'll talk about that when we get to Washington, D.C. But all of these schools have historically been fairly good at certain sports, specifically basketball. You'll recognize a lot of these names as big basketball schools, some of them having won the national title, some of them just having gotten very far in the tournament. But the Big East, a non-football conference, has 11 schools, and we're going to start over in Rhode Island with Providence College. So Providence, the Friars, you'll recognize, a big hockey school actually too, but have had success in basketball. Providence College, we zoom in on downtown Providence here, and up to the northwest is going to be Providence College. Schneider Arena there on the northern edge of campus, home to the Providence Friars. Let's zoom out here and go over next door to Connecticut. We have to find Storrs, Connecticut. So if we zoom in here on Hartford, and then we go to the east of Hartford on 384, we're going to find Storrs. And Storrs is home to UConn, the University of Connecticut, taking up a majority of this area here. Of course, the UConn Huskies, very successful basketball school, especially in the women's side of things. Also a lesser-known hockey school. They do have a football program, but this is UConn right there sitting in Storrs. Next, we have to go over to New York. One school in New York, and that is going to be in Queens. So we zoom in down here and find Queens on the north side of Long Island, and the school we're looking for here is St. John's University. So if we follow down from Citi Field, of course, this Flushing Meadows area, and go down to the intersection of a lot of these highways here, and then we go to the east on the Grand Central Parkway, here's going to be St. John's University, the Red Storm of St. John's. Of course, they do occasionally play basketball at Madison Square Garden, having kind of shared this area and having a big basketball program, but the majority of their sports are going to stay on campus there on the Queens side of things. But that is St. John's University, the Red Storm in Queens, New York. We go over then down to New Jersey. We have to find South Orange, New Jersey, to find Seton Hall University. So if we go straight west of New York City, over in this direction, we should find South Orange, just to the west of Newark. And there you see, just to the south of the city of Orange, there is Seton Hall University, the Pirates. Another big basketball school here. There is the Reagan Recreation and Athletic Center there, but this is home to the Seton Hall Pirates of the Big East. Going over to Pennsylvania now, we have to find Villanova, Pennsylvania. Of course, this is going to be near Philadelphia if we zoom in here. So if we go up to the northwest toward Norristown and zoom in here on kind of this Wayne area, and then we go down to the town of Villanova, there's Villanova University. The Wildcats, another big basketball school located right there to the northwest of Philadelphia. Zoom out here, we're going to go down then to the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. This is the one that I said isn't really in a state, because it's Washington, D.C. But the university you probably know in Washington, D.C., known as Georgetown. Of course, go to the west up the river here from kind of the heart of Washington, D.C., and this is going to be Georgetown University, the Hoyas, located right there. Of course, they play basketball downtown at the big arena, the Capital One Arena. But Cooper Field, their football stadium located on the western edge of campus. There's McDonough Arena, but that is Georgetown University. Jump over next to Ohio. We zoom out here, and like all the kids these days, we are hopping on over to Ohio. This one's in Cincinnati. Not the University of Cincinnati, but Xavier University, which is located, if we go to the north here, and just to the northeast here up in the Evanston area, this is going to be not that right there, Walnut Hills High School, but just to the north is going to be Xavier University. The Xavier Musketeers, another school you probably know for basketball. They have a habit of showing up in the tournament every season. There's the Cintas Center there. The Bellarmine Chapel right in the center of campus, but this, another one of those big Catholic universities. Most of these schools were founded as big Catholic universities back in the day. It's kind of where the Big East started, or at least the modern Big East. That's how it started. But we zoom out here, and then we continue to move to the west to Indiana. And the one school in Indiana is located in the state capital of Indianapolis. This is a school we've talked about for their football conference. They do have a football team that plays in the Pioneer League, but this is Butler University. So if we go to the north of Indianapolis, all the way up here toward the Spring Hill area, this is going to be Butler University. Of course, the Hinkle Fieldhouse, a very famous basketball arena there, but the Butler Bulldogs located right there in Indianapolis. We go over then to Illinois. The one school in Illinois is located up in Chicago. It's not the University of Chicago. It's not Chicago State. It is DePaul University. So to find DePaul University, the best way to do so is to make our way up to Lincoln Park here. Zoom in on the Lincoln Park neighborhood over here. And DePaul University just to the west of the heart of Lincoln Park. This is DePaul University, the Blue Demons, maybe one of the lesser known schools in terms of sports for this conference, but have historically had success in things like basketball. More known for its arts programs and for its academics, I suppose, but that is DePaul University located in Chicago. We move up to Milwaukee. A couple of schools in Milwaukee, we've already talked about UW Milwaukee, but this one you'll know better as Marquette. Marquette University located just to the west of downtown Milwaukee. That is home to the Marquette Golden Eagles. Of course, they play basketball along with the Bucks at the Fiserv Forum, located right there north of UW Milwaukee Panther Arena. But Marquette University, there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And last but not least, we got to skip over a couple states. The final school, and probably the most, at least where I'm from, the most famous member of the Big East, located in Omaha, Nebraska. It is the school known as Creighton. Creighton University, to the northwest of town here, a huge doctoral program. Every student I've ever met that's my age who is going to dental school is going to Creighton at the moment. So shout out to all my friends down in Omaha. Creighton, the Blue Jays, located right there in Omaha, Nebraska. But those are all 11 schools that make up the Big East Conference. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments section below. If there's other conferences that you want to see that you haven't seen on the channel, they may be in the folder. You just check out the Around the League folder, but there are other ones in our pipeline coming out very, very soon. Otherwise, we hope to see you back on the channel very, very soon as well. Have a great day.